Now let's look at the power sector. Power distribution companies, DISCOs, generated 199.85 billion naira in revenue in April. And this, according to the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, is the latest figure. In its DISCO's commercial performance fact sheet for the month under review, the NERC announced that revenue evaluation says that the figure represents a 5.81% increase from 188.89 billion naira revenue collected in March. The power sector regulator says that April revenue reflects a collection efficiency of 77.59%, and that's up from 71.07% in March, while the total energy received by DISCOs was 9.16% lower than the previous month of 2,622.46 gigawatts in April. And we're going to stay on that for a bit, talking about the electricity sector. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, that's the NERC, has said that electricity distribution companies installed a total of 187,194 meters in the first quarter of 2025. According to the report, the figure marks a marginal increase of 0.41% compared to 186,431 meters installed in the fourth quarter of 2024. But there are still complaints of metering, lack of it in many parts of the country. Especially at this time, there are stories of expired meters without avenue for replacement. That, unfortunately, is a story that is making the round at this time. And so let's have this conversation with Engineer Agoro. Joins us virtually from Lagos. Good morning, Engineer. Thank you for joining the program.
Good morning.
So we hear the revenue has increased for DISCOs, and we want to connect that to meters. And we know that the federal government has upped its efforts to spread meters around the country, and yet it does seem like we still have a lot of complaints about access to meters in most parts of the country. You are a meter manufacturer based in Lagos. What's the situation from your perspective?
Yeah, thank you. From my perspective, meter as a manufacturer, we have over 38 members manufacturer in Nigeria, local manufacturer in Nigeria today. The challenge is not in the production of meters. And up to now, we have a meter asset program from the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. I can tell you this is the only thing that the manufacturer are doing at the moment, because the other good initiative of the federal government, they are having one kind of bottleneck or the other. As you are aware, 1.2 million meter was awarded over a year ago. Up to today, according to the record from the ministry, it's about 70-something that has been delivered. They have over 200,000 that is still lying there in the pot. And you see that the new initiative by the federal government, again, of about 1.6 million has not been concluded. We have another one of about 250,000 that was supposed to be for the local manufacturer too. It has not yet been concluded at the moment. So all these initiatives that customers are waiting for free meter, so that makes them to even try to reduce their acceptance of the meter access program. I can tell you through the effort of Nigerian Regulatory Commission, they make the MAP program very easy, and a lot of people, capital investments have been brought into this. So there is meter. I can tell you everywhere there is meter, but the availability by the customer, because they are waiting for the free meter, that is what is delaying the progress on the MAP process.
I beg to differ, because I know some individuals firsthand who are ready to pay for this meter. They are not waiting for free meters, and they are under Ikeja Disco. So when you talk about people waiting for free meter, I beg to differ with that observation, because I have had interaction with individuals who are not waiting for the free meter. And I also want you to help me understand where meters are expired. So people have old meters, they can no longer use it. They say it's expired. Could you explain to us what's going on there?
No, the issue, there has been a long of time, more than a year ago now, we've been talking about the token. Is that it's like there are some meters that are old meters that are not the STS2 compliance. So there's a rollover because we know we are using STS in Nigeria today. Most of the meter must be STS compliant. Based on by November this year, some of those meters will need to be either be upgraded. As long as they are standard meter, they are GLMS protocol meter, the only thing that needs to be done is just to run a token on the meter. Unless the meter that the customer has, they are not STS compliance meter, that is when they have to be changed. And that is the responsibility of the DISCO. It's the DISCOs that has to change the meter. It's not, according to Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, it's not the customer that should pay for this meter.
Yeah, but since we're in Nigeria, there are customers who are ready to pay, and they are told that there's no meter. Now, you are a meter manufacturer, and you said that there are meters. So where is the missing link in all of this?
The truth of the issue is that this is open for public to see. There are meters. Yeah, I know if you count the manufacturer in Nigeria today, by the time you can visit their stock, I can tell you confidently, in our own factory now, we have a stock of over 40,000 meters there. And we are a map in most of the discos around, we are a map in Ibadan, in Abuja, and in Benin. So I cannot speak for Eco Disco, but I know we have a lot of people for Ikeja Disco, but I know we have a lot of map that I know, like a map like MBH, a map like Bojek. I know they have stocked of meter. So when somebody says there is no meter, I beg to disagree with that. There are meters.
Okay, so since these individuals say they went to Ikeja Disco and they were told that there are no meters available, what could be happening? Can these individuals come to you as MAP directly to get it? Because a lot of people do not know that there's a MAP, there's an in-between agent between the consumer and the discos. All they know is to go to the discos and apply for meters.
The truth of the issue is that Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission make this thing very transparent and very open. Every month, all the MAP bid for meter on a competitive nature, and DISCOs are made to publish those bidding every month. As of today, we have a bid that is concurrent until August of first week in August. So I know under Ikeja, maybe the customer just need to visit their website. You will find the list of MAP that are operating in Ikeja at the moment, and based on that, the customer will be able to see the prices, because the Nigerian legislature make sure that all the MAP DISCO publish the prices for some of these meters. So that's why I'm 100% certain that there are meters, because if you don't have a stock of meter, you will never be allowed to bid or talk less of publishing the prices.
All right. Well, I guess, for our viewers, if you're affected, meter asset provider here is saying, please go back to the website and check for the maps that are available and that there are meters. And so Ikeja Disco should not tell their customers that there are no meters and they have to be stranded and waiting because they say they have a meter that's expired. But let's broaden that conversation now, Engineer Goro. We know that the federal government also has a program that is supposed to drive the spread of meters. How does that work? Who can be a part of it? How is it going at this time?
Well, the truth is that the federal government program is a very laudable program. But the challenge we have now in the country is that we are trying to put a new wine in an old wine skin. The major challenge to that deployment, because we recently have a program called MAF that we are supposed to deploy, we find out that the data is a major problem in the nesting. Government needs to invest in a clean data. Data for the nesting cannot be left alone for the DISCO, because this is the cash cow of the entire nesting. So now, with the latest electricity acts, with the new set of states now being given ability to be able to manage it, every state should do whatever they have to do to have a data of the particular electricity user in their state. With that, that is when any federal government initiative on meter deployment can be effective. As of today, nobody can effectively say that, oh, these are the real number, these are the authentic data in our disco, and this is the people that have been metered, and immediately the people are metered, they can be upgraded immediately. Technology can help to solve this problem. Unless this is solved, there's no initiative that the government is doing that we can do an effective metering in Nigeria today. So that is what is actually preventing. Government has a lot of plans. PMI today, they have over 700 billion naira that has been allocated for meters. There are loans for the first phase of the World Bank, the second phase of the local, but all this initiative can never be achieved without an effective data. So government needs to invest and help the DISCO to be able to solve this problem of data. Because what we're hearing is that government has spent money before on enumeration, but those are in the hold. Now, those enumerations are not, people need to know the actual data that we have of the customers, and government needs to have this data in their fingertip, not what the discos are telling them.
So you think that the NERC should delve into this issue of gathering data so at least we can have a foundation for the planning and the policies that the federal government is sharing with stakeholders?
Yes, the challenge the NRC has before is that because most discos have said that they have invested money on the enumeration. So now it's difficult now for anybody to be saying now that we don't have the data. But the truth that everybody knows in the NRC is that those data are not authentic. It is necessary that the government has to take this initiative and make sure that enumeration of from each state. If today, if you ask that, how many number of customers do we have in your state, for instance? How many of them are meter? But it is all on guesswork. Because when you use that data to do a meter rollout program, you are going to have a problem. So it's good that the government, for the effectiveness of their program and their plan, they need to invest in technology to be able to help in gathering this data, so that they will use that to do the meter deployment. Of a truth, government has highlighted a lot of money for meter deployment, but this cannot be achieved if the data is not clear.
Engineer Goro, what about states? Because we know that, there's a new law that empowers states to do more in the area of electricity. Can't we also bring the subnationals in gathering this data, for instance, and making metering more effective?
Yes, when you look at the NESI, the only unfortunate thing is that unfortunately, is the discos that collect money for the NESI. And this is the most important part of NESI. So any state that want to make progress must have a data of it's a thing that the states can do. Because this data should not be only the responsibility of the disco. Because this is a thing that is affecting the entire NESI. So any state that really wants to have information on their electricity, on the load demand in their area, must have data. So the first thing they must do, where they can work upon, is to build effective data of the customer, of the energy demand, and everything in their state. So states can do this. I think it's the responsibility that the states can really key into. Any state that have this data, the rest is not a problem again. Then when people have the data, the initiative of the government can be effectively utilized. Then the private people can come into and be able to close the metering gap.
All right, Engineer Goro, thank you so much. Managing Director of Protege Global Services Limited, Engineer Ademola Ogoro, thank you for your time and perspective this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we're still staying with energy, electricity. I wonder if you saw the news a couple of days ago, how gas flaring has hit a 4-year high and Nigeria is losing billions of naira from that. We'll have that conversation and how that can be connected to the electricity that we all look for in this country. It's still here on Business Morning, but that's after the break. Please stay with us.